and Julia Sondu, showing you where development is happening. Please come and join us. Israeli forces surround North Gaza hospitals. Shelling, gunshots and explosions took place outside Gaza City hospitals on Friday as Israeli forces continued their ground operation against Hamas. Social media videos showed panicked and injured people running for cover. Israel has always maintained that Hamas fighters hide in tunnels under hospitals, making the structures legitimate targets. The Red Cross warned that hospitals in Gaza had reached a point of no return. It added that its staff attempting to deliver medical supplies had witnessed scenes and described the destruction as unbearable. Israel's bombardment of Gaza and ground operations followed Hamas's unprecedented mass attack on southern Israel on the 7th of October. Reports that Israeli forces in Gaza were surrounding several hospitals in Gaza City began to emerge early on Friday morning. One person inside the Al-Quds hospital told the BBC that they could hear continuous clashes and explosions, while eyewitnesses near the Al-Rantisi pediatric hospital said that Israeli troops were using megaphones to order anyone who was not medical staff or patients to leave the premises. In one video posted on social media and verified by the BBC, a large group of civilians, many of them carrying white flags, can be seen trying to leave the courtyard of another hospital, Al-Nasser, when gunshots ring out, sending panicked people running for cover. Videos posted on social media appeared to show the aftermath of a missile or mortar striking the courtyard at Al-Shifa, the city's largest hospital, while others appeared to show children and scenes of panic outside the outpatients clinic. Dr. Ashraf Al-Qudra, a spokesman for the Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza, said that up to 5 Israeli strikes had damaged parts of Al-Shifa hospital, including the maternity ward. If Al-Shifa hospital goes out of service, it will be a disaster for the people of Gaza City, Dr. Al-Qudra said, adding that staff were afraid. By Friday evening, tensions in Gaza City remained high. People inside Al-Shifa said they could still hear explosions and firing around the hospital and that Israeli tanks were about 100 meters, 328 feet, away. The director of the hospital told the BBC that around 15,000 people remained in the structure, largely the elderly and the sick who cannot make the journey further south to where Israel has promised greater safety. He added that staff were overwhelmed by the number of injured people and were having to treat people in corridors and on the floor. The fighting around Al-Quds hospital also intensified as night fell. The BBC understands an Israeli Navy ship was involved as well as tanks, which have surrounded the hospital. Speaking at the Security Council on Friday, World Health Organization Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said the situation on the ground in Gaza was impossible to describe. Dr. Tedros said that hospital corridors were crammed with the injured and that surgeries was being performed without anesthesia. He added that half of the Gaza Strip's 36 hospitals were not functioning at all, and that the remaining ones were operating way beyond their capacities. He said that civilians in Gaza are not responsible but are suffering in ways that we in this room cannot imagine. A spokesman for the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, said the IDF does not fire on hospitals, but that we'll do what we need to if Hamas fired from hospital grounds. When asked what the plan was to deal with patients in the hospitals who could not walk, or those who were on drips and with broken bones, he said, "Our plan is, and we're taking an operational risk here, we're saying to Hamas to move people south." Hamas has previously denied claims that it places command posts under Gaza hospitals to use them as shields. The US says Israel has agreed to daily 4-hour military pauses in northern Gaza for humanitarian purposes, yet the fighting remained intense on Friday. Hamas tunnel next to UNRWA school in Gaza destroyed. A Hamas tunnel located adjacent to a Gaza school administered by the United Nations Relief and Works, UNRWA, was destroyed by Israeli forces on November 8. Hamas operatives have been building tunnels underneath UNRWA schools in the Mediterranean enclave for years, using the schools as human shields for activity. While UNRWA has condemned the construction of tunnels under its schools in the past, the UN agency has a history of employing staff who promote hatred, including members of Hamas. UNRWA has allowed generations of Palestinians to be indoctrinated with anti-Semitism. This hatred is all the more deplorable in light of the atrocities of October 7th, which can only be ascribed to a complete dehumanization of Jews and Israelis. UNRWA's mandate has perpetuated and exacerbated the Palestinian refugee problem for 75 years. This agency has completely failed its mandate and should be defunded, said Enia Krivine, Senior Director of FDD's Israel Program and National Security Network. UNRWA is part of a collection of UN bodies created to nurture Palestinian grievances against Israel. Because of the welfare dependency UNRWA has helped create in Gaza, its services must be phased out gradually. Any solution that allows UNRWA to remain will perpetuate the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, not solve it. UNRWA was established in 1949 to manage the Palestinians who became refugees during Israel's War of Independence. At the time, there were an estimated 750,000 Palestinian refugees across the region, many of whom resided in Gaza. Yet UNRWA has perpetuated the Palestinian refugee myth by passing down the status of refugee from generation to generation. Today, there are 5.9 million people living all over the world, registered with UNRWA as Palestinian refugees. The US unconditionally funds UNRWA. Under the leadership of former US President Donald Trump, the United States cut funding to UNRWA in 2018, labeling the agency irredeemably flawed. President Biden unconditionally resumed funding UNRWA in 2021. In 2022, the United States contributed $344 million to the UN agency. If Washington intends to continue funding UNRWA, it should demand reforms. Meanwhile, Israeli forces close in on Gaza's hospitals and claim they hide Hamas tunnels. Israeli forces surrounded the main hospital in Gaza, where Palestinians have congregated for shelter and where Israel claims militant group Hamas conceals its deep underground military headquarters, setting the stage for what could be the next stage of fighting focused on Hamas' network of tunnels. Video footage revealed an explosion Friday morning at Gaza City's Al-Shifa Hospital, the largest medical facility in the territory, which the Hamas-led Gaza Health Ministry blamed on an Israeli airstrike, though Israel has not said whether it launched the strike. The World Health Organization confirmed Friday the hospital is one of several in Gaza under bombardment. This is the end of our program today. See you on Intervlog same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates. Thank you for watching Intervlog. Thank you.